Hi everybody, it's Mark Shellshear. This is the Mark Art Show coming to you from the Shellshear project in Brisbane, Australia. And I want to talk today about art as a complete experience. And we should see it that way. We should see that when people come to our shows, that we want them to have an experience at our shows. That is more than just looking at a painting on the wall. It's more than just looking at a sculpture or an assembled piece. It's about having an experience, not just a visual experience, but a complete experience. And I want that for us when we show paintings. I want people to feel that there's a connection, that there's something more going on here than just a pretty painting on a wall or just a nice small sculpture. It's got to be something that actually connects with people and touches people. Art is more than just a painting on the wall. And I know that people believe that their art speaks for itself, but often that is just an excuse for not talking to people, for not talking about your art, for not communicating about your art and telling us all about what you're trying to do. You see, I really believe that the collector, when they look at a painting, wants more than just the visual experience. They want more than that. They want to know what the artist is about, the why of the artist, what the artist is hoping to convey here, what they're trying to speak about. Because you see, we talk about the artist's voice. And then when we say that, we always refer to, the painting or the sculpture. But the artist's voice is more than that. The artist's voice is also the artist telling their story. And language is so important. And that's why I tell everybody to really story tell your art, because it's about the use of language. And the truth is, language creates the miracle of sight. Language is incredible. It opens things up. Language creates the miracle of sight. The words we speak create pictures in our heads. And it's true. Think about when you read a book. You can read a book I really like reading Dan Brown's novels when they come out. Not because they're great pieces of literature, because they're great tales. They're a great story. And I like a good yarn, And when you read it, it just races in your head and you have all these incredible pictures of all this stuff happening. So words and language create pictures within our heads. Now think about a comic book. When you used to read comic books, all the action in comic books happens between the squares. In between where Superman's flying here and Superman is standing there, and we make the story up in our heads as we watch it. So language creates pictures. Language creates stories. And so when we show our art and we story tell our art, we do more than just show a painting. When we talk about our paintings, we begin to paint pictures in the minds of the people who are listening or who are reading the story. You see, there's more than one way to see. There's more than just one way to see something. We see with our eyes, yes, but we also see with our mind. We get insight. And when our mind gets involved, our emotions get involved. When our mind gets involved, we connect more with things. You see, words bring emotions as well. And when someone looks at our art piece, we want them not just to admire it with their eyes and say it's nice, but we want them to connect with it and begin to tell a story about it in their heads. That it begins to connect with them because we're telling them a story. And as they hear the story about the art piece, insight takes over and they begin to connect, and an emotional connection takes place. But it takes place because we talk about it and we tell them about it and we paint the picture. Now, I know we can have the miracle buyer, and the miracle buyer comes along once every 2 or 3 years and just looks at the painting and says, wow, I love that, I'll buy it. But that does not happen very often at all. It's usually a process we go through when, yes, they like the look of the painting. Now, what's it all about? And we begin to tell the story and it begins to connect within. Why? Because their pictures are being painted. Language creates the miracle of sight, and we begin to see it in our heads and we begin to picture it. And that's how the connection takes place. That's how the connection takes place. It's like falling in love. Falling in love, well, when did you fall in love? You fall in love sometime between then when you met them and when you get married, I hope. But you know, sometime in there when you fall in love, it's words, it's emotions, it's insight, it's pictures, and all of a sudden things begin to take over. Don't leave your paintings as orphans hanging on the wall, hoping that somebody will admire them. Give your paintings a little bit more life. Talk about them, picture them, storytell them. Allow people to connect with the words you were saying and let those words get inside them and give them insight into what you were doing and why you were doing it and why you painted this and what you want to do with it. Language helps people to see your work properly. It really does. Language opens the door for the emotions to get involved. Language allows people to connect with your piece of art. Very much real. You know, the story. I do believe in storytelling. If you've been watching me for a long time, you know I believe in storytelling of art. Why? Because I worked so many years in galleries, and I know that when we tell a story about a painting, there's a much better chance of it selling and the person looking at it connecting with it. And we always want an emotional connection with the painting, because when it has an emotional connection, it brings joy and does things. And every time they look at that painting, those emotions come back. And those emotions come when we tell them about it, and they get insight into the painting, and they have a greater understanding about the painting, and it touches them and their emotions get involved. You don't only see with your eyes, my friends, you see with your mind as well. Help people to see your paintings and your artworks with their mind. Help them to connect to them. I really hope that you hear what I'm saying. Understand that the thief is involved as well. And the thief is the one who tells you that, you know, your paintings speak for themselves. And when you begin to understand it's just an excuse for not having to connect with your buyers, for not having to be involved with the sales process. And the sales process is just telling a wonderful story about your work and why you did it, and then allow people into the work. See, it opens a door, and that's what we want to do. We want to open the door to allow people to come in and love our paintings as much as we love them. And we should speak about them like we love them. My friends, I hope that helps. I hope you consider storytelling, because it is such a powerful tool that you can use to help sell your work. Okay, I hope let's get some comments here, because I know there's a lot out there who still don't agree with me about storytelling. Tell me why. I'd like to know why you don't like or agree with me about storytelling. Okay guys, you have a fabulous day. Remember, there's people out there hurting. Hugs and smiles are free. Give them away generously. And I'm going to talk to you again tomorrow. Okay, have a great day. Ciao.